What's up YouTube? This is Bystander X79 guys. Today I'm bringing you my latest deck profile video for July 2021 and we're looking at my updated Hero deck. Now, Hero has always been a favorite archetype of mine. I've been building and collecting the cards over the course of the years since they were released in the GX era, and I can tell you this right now, the archetype is very solid. It has great consistency, and the way it builds its boards, it's just insane because you can get multiple fusion monsters out onto the field and in the process break your opponent's board. This deck can put out some pretty impressive boards and can put out some pretty awesome damage, and just like the term hero implies, this deck will always come through. So definitely, if you have this particular deck in your arsenal, bust it out every now and then, play it. It's going to be fun. You'll have a blast playing it. I know I always do. So without further ado, we're jumping right into this. So we're starting off with the monsters, all going alphabetized. So we're starting off with the Destiny Heroes first, and we got the 2 copies of Destiny Hero Malicious. Why is it at 2? Well, it's on the semi-limited list. Plain and simple. But this card is just an amazing extender. Get 1 copy of this card into the graveyard, whether it be by discarding for cost or sending to the graveyard via another effect. You can easily banish it and get the other card out of your deck. It just makes an insane extender for this deck, and you can just do a whole lot of things with it. Next up, we got 1 copy of Destiny Hero Plasma. Destiny Hero Plasma cannot be normal summoned. It can only be special summoned by tributing 3 monsters you control. Once this card hits the field, all your opponent's monsters' effects negated. And also has a pretty nasty effect where it can actually just target one of your opponent's monsters and equip it to itself, and it gains half that monster's original attack. So yeah, this is definitely one of those oppressive cards that can bust up boards and just get you an additional high-powered attack body on the field, ready to help you swing at your opponent. Next up, we have the Elemental Heroes. We're starting with Honest Neos. Honest Neos is the hand trap of the hero deck. Discard this card from your hand, target one of your face-up hero monsters, and that monster gains 2,500 attack. Yeah, a 2,500 attack point boost, it can definitely put any of your hero monsters in a position to take your opponent's monster down. Furthermore, if this card is ever on the field, you can actually send other hero cards from your deck to your graveyard to power boost itself, so it can help fuel things if you do happen to get on the field. 9 times out of 10 you're using it as a hand trap. 1 copy of Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier. Liquid Soldier on its normal summon gets you a hero monster from your graveyard back onto the field. Very awesome. Just allowing you to be able to do various things in this deck is what Liquid Soldier is all about. Furthermore, if this card is ever sent from the field to the graveyard by one of your card effects, you're going to be able to get its other effect, which allows you to draw 3 cards and discard 1. So you get a bit of a mini Graceful Charity effect when you use this card as a fusion material, or even a material for Mass Change. So definitely it is worth running in your deck. Next up, Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. Oh, I just loved it when she came out in the Hero Structure deck. Special summon this card to the field. You're searching the deck for a Mask Change quick play spell to add to your hand. Or if you happen to send her to the graveyard, you get yourself a search for any hero monster you need to add to your hand. So one effect or the other is all you get per turn, but you know what? You're going to get what you need into your hand to continue your plays, and that's the important part. Next up, we got 2 copies of Elemental Hero Solid Soldier. I love running 2 copies of Solid Soldier because you kind of want to see him. He's a great starter card. Normal summon him out, and he brings another hero monster from your hand onto the field. So from there, you're going to be able to basically get your plays started and get an additional body on board. Furthermore, if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, whether it be your opponent's or your own, you're getting another hero monster from the graveyard special summon back to your field in defense position. So yeah, more bodies on the board means more things you can do. Next up, 2 copies of Elemental Hero Stratos. What can I say? Love this guy. On summon, both normal and special, you get to either search your deck for any hero monster to add to your hand, or you can destroy spells and traps on the field equal to the number of other heroes you control. So one way or another, you're going to be getting a resource to your hand or taking resources away from your opponent. So he makes a very awesome card. Going into the Vision Heroes, we got 3 copies of Vision Hero Varus. Basically, you discard a card from your hand, special summon it to the field. Once they special summon, you're going to be able to place one of your 2 copies of Vision Hero Increase on the board, specifically onto the spell and trap zones. And then what happens is that you can actually use Increase's effect to tribute off the Varus, special summon him to a main monster zone, and there he will actually summon one of the 2 copies of Vision Hero Vion. Vion on summon will send any hero monster that you need from the deck to the graveyard, so definitely this is the card you want to be utilizing to dump Malicious or even Shadow Mist, depending on how you open with your hand, to your graveyard. Furthermore, you can actually banish and use Violence Effect to banish an unneeded hero from your graveyard and search your deck for a Polymerization card so you can get your Fusion Planes going even further. Just a great engine of Vision Heroes for this deck. Next up, we got some hand traps to deal with. 3 cards in Droll and Lockbird. I like Droll and Lockbird better in this deck, primarily because it just denies your opponent from being able to search continuously for various resources during the course of their turn. And just by turning that off, you're giving yourself more of a chance of actually being able to swing into your opponent and win the game. And the last hand trap I'm running is the 2 copies of Nibiru the Primal Being. A lot of combo decks out there, and to be very honest, being able to just Nibiru your opponent's board, worth it. And with the way I built this deck, giving your opponent a high-powered Blight Attribute token, not an issue. Going into the spells, we got 1 copy of Hero Lives. Very important for any hero deck because it special summons any element of hero monster you need from your deck to your field. Yeah, it costs you half your life points, but you know what? You're going to get the monster you need. Period. So yes, it's definitely an amazing card. Great starter card. And if you open with it and it can go through, yeah, you're pretty much going to have the nuts there. So, next up, this is a combo deck, so Call by the Grave is pretty much mandatory. 2 copies of E-Emergency Call. I actually like the 2 E-Emergency Call 2 Stratos ratio better than the 2 Stratos 1 E-Call ratio. This is primarily because I kind of want to be able to see the monsters I want to have in my hand, and the spell cards just give me an additional way to get to those monsters. That's it. This, for me, this is a great ratio, and it's worked out well. So, next up, 2 copies of Lightning Storm. No cards on your field going second. You can pop all of your opponent's attack position monsters or just knock out their entire back row. So, definitely a worthy go second card. You don't need a 3rd copy of it because you do kind of have a board wipe situation in your extra deck. So, we got 3 copies of Mask Change. Mask Change allows you to access into your Mask Hero. And I can tell you this right now, your Masked Heroes are definitely worth going into because they just give you that extra little oomph at times. Going further, we have 1 copy of Miracle Fusion. Easily accessible thanks to Sunriser's effect, and it allows you to Grave Fuse, so always worthwhile. And then, of course, we have 1 copy of Polymerization. Again, searchable by Vion, so you're easily able to access your fusion plays. 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army. Hey, the majority of your deck are level 4 warrior monsters, so definitely worthwhile in this deck. And then, of course, you have 2 copies of Super Polymerization. And to be honest, in any fusion-based deck, this is your board buster spell. alongside any other board wipes you wanted to turn around and get into. Nibiruing your opponent, or even if the opponent Nibiru's you, this card just allows you to be able to play through it. That simple. We also included some other Super Poly Daggers in the extra deck to help the deck out and round out the extra deck as well. And last but not least, we have 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Again, shutting down monster effects, pretty big deal. Helps slow down your opponent, and without being able to search and shutting down their monster effects, you pretty much have put them in a position where you could actually just blow them out. For the extra, we got Elemental Heroes first. So Elemental Hero Absolute Zero. One of my personal favorite Elemental Heroes. If you're facing off against the Water Attribute deck, this guy becomes a massive amount of beast because he gains 500 attack for every Water Attribute monster that's on the field. Not only that, but whenever this card leaves the field, it's basically taking all your opponent's monsters with it because it will blow your opponent's monsters sky high. And combining this with Mass Change is one of the best easy ways to actually do that. Next up, we have 1 copy of Elemental Hero Great Tornado. I love having Great Tornado in the extra deck because there are times you need an additional fusion summon. And to be honest, this is the best card to actually run because of Stratos or even Draw and Lock. 1 hero monster plus 1 Attribute monster can get this guy on the field, and then when it hits the field, all your opponent's monsters on the field, they lose half their attack points. Insane. But it's just another way to help set up that blowout. So definitely a worthwhile fusion to have in your extra deck. Next up, Elemental Hero Sunriser. Sunriser does some serious heavy lifting. He can actually power boost all the hero monsters on your field by 200 points for each attribute that's on the field. So if you can get multiple attribute monsters on the field, yeah, you could actually get a lot of attack points going. That being said, on summon he switches out Miracle Fusion, so you can get your Great Fusions going. And whenever a battle is declared involving one of your hero monsters, this guy's other effect will activate and pop one of your opponent's cards. So you're getting that spot removal just by battling. Next up we got 1 copy Elemental Hero The Shining. Okay, The Shining is pretty much your Super Poly target if you Nibiru your opponent, or it's going to be the target, the fusion material you could be utilizing to play through Nibiru. So, very awesome. It gains 300 attack points for every Elemental Hero monster that's been banished, which is also very impressive. It can shoot itself up to at least 3,200 attack with 2 heroes banished. And whenever it leaves the field, you're getting 2 of those banished hero monsters, Elemental Hero monsters, back into your hand. So definitely helps you recur your resources and gets you additional body on board. Alright, we got 1 copy of Masked Hero Blast. For your Masked Heroes, on summon you can target one of your opponent's monsters, cut that monster's attack in half. Pretty cool effect. Pay 500 life points, you can actually pop one of your opponent's back row, so you get a little extra duty of both Great Tornado and Stratos in this card, so definitely it's worthwhile in any extra deck. 2 copies of the Boss Masked Hero, which is going to be Masked Hero Dark Lore. 1-sided Macrocosmos, which banishes anything your opponent sends to the graveyard. And if your opponent searches, it rips a card out of their hand and banishes it as well. So, yeah, definitely worth 2 of in the deck. We have 1 copy of Masked Hero Anki. Anki, if it destroys one of your opponent's monsters by battle, you're searching your deck for a mass change to add to your hand. From there, you can actually go from Anki to Dark Lore. And this card can also attack your opponent's life points directly, but any damage it inflicts is halved. But you know what? Hey, any poke is a good poke, and just being able to do damage on your opponent to help you win, always worth it. And last but not least, we are running 1 copy of Masked Hero Acid. Acid, just an amazing play to utilize with Absolute Zero and Mass Change. Blows your opponent's monsters and back row away, and if any monsters do remain, it's cutting those monsters' attack points down by at least 300 if I'm remembering correctly. So, yeah, so worth it to have in your deck. Alright, and then the last hero fusion we have is Vision Hero Trinity. Trinity on summon, its base attack power doubles, so you go from 2,500 to 5,000, and it can make up to 3 attacks on monsters per turn, which is not bad. To be very honest, when you start taking its attack point boost and start adding other attack point boosts that this deck can provide, yeah, it could get pretty big and it could do some serious damage and end game. So definitely worthwhile having. Okay. Super Poly targets 2 monsters of the same attribute with different types. Pretty easy to do, especially with dark attribute monsters. Also can protect monsters of you control of a particular attribute from being affected by your opponent's card effects. So definitely worth having in your extra. And then of course we have 1 copy of Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. I just love having this card. It's pretty easy to get out. Again, a lot of dark attribute monsters are out there. Get this guy in the field. He can negate a monster effect, or even copy that monster's name and effect as well, so you can you can utilize that card's effect for your own. So yeah, it could do a lot. And if this card is ever popped off the field, it destroys all special summon monsters your opponent controls. So yeah, there's a lot of things your opponent's gotta worry about with this card doing. Next up, we have the extra heroes. Cross Crusader is the first one. Great link to. On summon, you're targeting a Destiny Hero monster in your graveyard. Special summon it to the field in defense position. And from there, you have one of 2 options. Either continue your combo plays, or you can just use its other effect to tribute it off to search your deck for another card. One copy of Extra Hero Wonder Driver. Anytime a monster is special summoned to a zone it points to, you're getting a polymerization card, a fusion card, or a mass chain, or a change quick play card from your graveyard back to your hand, or back to the field. Excuse me, it sets back to the field, which is very awesome. If this card ever leaves the field, you also get embed monsters. So yeah, it does a lot of work, and it's a welcome addition to any hero extra deck. And last but not least, we have 1 copy of Extra Hero Dread Decimator. Any hero monsters it points to, those hero monsters and itself gains 100 points for each differently named hero monster that's in the graveyard. And considering the number of hero monsters this deck can put out, yeah, that's going to be a pretty solid number. Also, this card can attack and inflict damage to your opponent while their monsters are in defense position. So the piercing damage can come in handy if you need to get through a defense position monster. So, very awesome card indeed. Alright guys, that is it for my updated hero deck for July 2021. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss any uploads. Check out the description box below. Find the invite link to my Discord server. Join the conversation. We'll love to have you. Check out the links for my affiliates, both TCGplayer.com as well as SideDeckVersus.com. Great resources for any Yu-Gi-Oh player. Follow me on social media, and guys, until next time, peace!